What if I told you that an ancient mystery, born in the days of King David and Solomon, continues to echo across the globe today? The once united nation of Israel, formed by the 12 tribes chosen by God, split apart after Solomon's reign. 10 of these tribes vanished into history, lost, yet not forgotten. But are they truly gone? Across Ethiopia, India, Afghanistan, Africa, and beyond, communities claim they are descendants of these tribes. Could their rediscovery signal the fulfillment of ancient prophecies? Could their reappearance usher in the final chapter of biblical history? The story of the 12 tribes begins with Jacob, grandson of Abraham, whose life was forever changed after a night of wrestling with God. This encounter earned him the name Israel, meaning one who struggles with God. Genesis is 32:28. Jacob's 12 sons would become the patriarchs of Israel's tribes: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. Each son's blessing, recorded in Genesis 49, hinted at the destiny of their tribe. For instance, Judah was prophesied to lead, becoming the tribe through which King David and the Messiah would emerge. Under King David, the tribes were united into one kingdom. Under his son, Solomon, Israel reached its golden age. But after Solomon's reign, division and sin tore the kingdom apart. The northern tribes, Reuben, Simeon, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Ephraim, and Manasseh formed the kingdom of Israel, while the tribes of Judah and Benjamin became the kingdom of Judah in the south. The northern kingdom quickly descended into idolatry, despite warnings from prophets like Hosea and Amos. In 722 BC, the Assyrian Empire invaded and scattered the 10 northern tribes across their vast empire. The king of Assyria took Israel into exile in Assyria and settled them in Hala, on the Habor River, and in the towns of the Medes, 2 Kings 17:6. Over time, these tribes assimilated into other cultures, earning the name the Lost Tribes of Israel. Yet the Bible tells us they were not lost to God. Prophecies in Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Revelation speak of their eventual return, signaling the dawn of the Messianic age. Even now, we see hints of this regathering as communities around the world claim descent from the lost tribes. One of the most well-known groups is the Beta Israel of Ethiopia. These Ethiopian Jews believe they descend from the tribe of Dan. Their oral traditions recount a migration from Israel to Ethiopia, possibly through Egypt, after the Assyrian exile. For centuries, they preserved Jewish practices, observing the Sabbath, circumcision, kosher dietary laws, and festivals, even in isolation. Their story became widely known in the 20th century, when famine and conflict in Ethiopia prompted Israel to act. In Operation Moses, 1984, and Operation Solomon, 1991, tens of thousands of Beta Israel were airlifted to Israel. Many see their return as a fulfillment of Isaiah 11:12. Where God promises to gather the exiles of Israel and assemble the scattered people of Judah from the four corners of the earth. But the Beta Israel are not alone. The Bene Israel of India claim ancestry from the tribe of Ephraim. According to their oral history, their ancestors were shipwrecked on the Indian coast during the Assyrian exile. Isolated for centuries, they maintained Jewish practices like observing the Sabbath and dietary laws. Despite their separation from mainstream Judaism, their traditions bear remarkable similarities to ancient Israelite customs. In recent decades, many Bene Israel have immigrated to Israel, furthering the prophetic narrative of the tribe's return. In Afghanistan and Pakistan, the Pashtun tribes, also known as Pathans, claim descent from the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. This claim is supported by their traditions, which mirror Israelite practices. For instance, many Pashtun tribes circumcise their sons on the 8th day, avoid pork, and follow other dietary restrictions. They even refer to themselves as Bani Israel, children of Israel, and pass down stories of their Israelite origins. Tribal names like Rabbani and Levani echo the names of ancient Israelite tribes. Could this be evidence that the Pashtun, numbering in the tens of millions, are descendants of the lost tribes? The Igbo people of Nigeria have a similar story. They believe they descend from the tribes of Gad and Zebulun. Their cultural practices, such as circumcision, avoiding pork, and observing Jewish festivals, bear striking similarities to ancient Israelite traditions. Despite their geographical distance, many Igbos identify strongly with Israel. In recent years, some have formally converted to Judaism and even immigrated to Israel. Their story raises questions about how far and wide the tribes may have been scattered. Even in southern Africa, among the Lemba people of Zimbabwe and South Africa, we find echoes of ancient Israel. The Lemba claim to descend from the tribe of Levi, the priestly tribe. Their customs, such as circumcision, kosher-like dietary laws, and Sabbath observance, are strikingly Jewish. But it is DNA evidence that truly sets their story apart. Genetic testing has revealed that many Lemba men carry the Cohen modal haplotype, a genetic marker associated with the descendants of Aaron, Moses' brother, and the first high priest of Israel. This remarkable discovery lends credibility to their claim of Levitical ancestry. These stories are not merely historical curiosities. They are intertwined with the Bible's prophetic vision of the end times. Ezekiel 37 paints a vivid picture of God restoring the tribes of Israel. In the vision of the Valley of Dry Bones, God breathes life into the scattered remains of Israel, promising, "I will make them one nation in the land, on the mountains of Israel. There will be one king over all of them." Ezekiel chapter 37:22. This reunification of Israel under the Messiah is a cornerstone of biblical prophecy. Isaiah 11:12 adds to this vision, speaking of a second regathering. He will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exiles of Israel. While this prophecy partially refers to the return from Babylonian exile, many believe it also points to a global regathering that includes the lost tribes. The return of groups like the Beta Israel and Bene Israel is seen as the first signs of this larger fulfillment. Revelation 7 gives another glimpse into the end times, where 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe, are sealed for protection during the Great Tribulation. This passage reaffirms that the lost tribes are not forgotten. They will play a key role in the final chapters of human history. The story of the lost tribes is not over. From Ethiopia to India, from Africa to Central Asia, their reappearance is a reminder of God's promises. Isaiah 55:11 declares, "My word will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire." Each rediscovery of a community claiming Israelite descent points to the fulfillment of these promises. The return of the lost tribes is not just about the past. It is a sign that the Messiah's return is drawing near. Could this be the generation that witnesses the fulfillment of Ezekiel's vision? As we marvel at how these ancient prophecies continue to unfold, we are reminded that the God who scattered Israel is the same God who will gather them again. This is not just a story of loss, but of restoration, of a divine plan moving toward its ultimate climax.